I boo-hooed. I said, oh, the club put me in there. No. I put myself in there. I did what I had to do as a Hell's Angel.
You know, my daddy always, if you got in a fight and you came home with a bloody nose, did you hit him back? If you didn't hit him back, Dad put you in the car and took you back over there until you're going up in that yard and get your shit done and be a man.
These other walls drove through by gangs, by the FBI gang, and all that happened to that chapter, right? Like those guys go through their being a big motorcycle club, even sometimes just being a small motorcycle club, you go through your.
A lot of people that have come in have seen definitely a change in the club and the direction that the club is going.
I looked out my window and you could see a body laying out in front. And here's this dude running around up there with just had his sweatshirt on. And he tells me he's a Hell's Angel. Even after all that, I still wanted to join the Hell's Angels.
People out there, man, that are just natural followers. And they just fall right in line with that type of program. But not 1%ers, man. 1%ers don't ask permission.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today we're going to talk about the pagan that was killed by the police, and we're going to talk about the other member that was killed a while back, and they still got questions about that situation that happened. He was a Marine veteran, and it's just really suspicious. We're going to talk about a bunch of other things today, right here on Chatting with Stacks. If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's brother, sister's friend about Chatting with Stacks, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. I appreciate all you guys taking the time to watch this show. If you want to donate to the show, you could hit up the Cash App at Chatting with Stacks. Or you can hit a Venmo, PayPal, Super Stickers, Super Chats, Zelle, all that good stuff. I appreciate every single dollar. I put it right back into the show so I can bring you the dopest content possible. I'm going to be doing some in-person interviews. I got a lot of interviews I just wrapped up with some ex-club members, and they told me some crazy situations. So I got a bunch of videos to show you guys. It was a crazy storm yesterday. I heard there was reports of tornadoes and all this other shit. I got some pictures of the storm to show you guys. We got a lot of shit to talk about. Lindsay, how are you? Thank you for joining me. I appreciate everything you do for this channel. Here, let me show you guys. If you guys were in the Northeast yesterday, crazy storm came through, ripping trees out. Trees fell on houses. All over the highway. It was pretty crazy. All of a sudden, too, this happened like all of a sudden. Trees down everywhere. Today, we're going to talk about the 1979 massacre where 5 outlaw members were killed in the Carolinas. We're going to talk about that situation, too. That was a crazy situation. Happened 47 years ago. And they figured out who did it. And we're going to talk about that. So I got some videos to show you guys today. First, check out this video from Los Angeles. They banned fireworks in Los Angeles, right? People didn't care.
The past 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so, and there are massive fireworks going off pretty much in every direction that you see here. Jasmine, our local fire departments and police departments have been begging people not to do this, right, but it seems tonight they are not listening to those calls.
Well, they're putting up new warnings on social media. I mean, they're saying safe and sane are even banned in the majority of cities in LA County, not to mention the city of LA has a ban as well. We know many of the public shows have been canceled, so we've done stories on this. More people have been, unfortunately, setting off illegal fireworks. I mean, it is quite the sight, but this is not supposed to be happening. I mean, you could be fined up to $50,000.
People did not care. They're doing what they want. And I got some videos, some motorcycle club videos to show you guys. Herman, what's going on? Thank you for joining me today. Let's shout out to everybody up there in Canada. We got a lot of people watching from Canada. I really appreciate all you guys. We got some exclusive stuff coming from Canada. But check out these club videos that I got. This is a wild one. Like, there's a lot of people out there claiming to be something they're not. And we got one of these guys. So let's take a look at this guy. It's pretty funny, but mental health is a real thing. It's alive and well, people.
No, I'm deep up in that shit.
You deep up in that shit?
I'm a Hell's Angel.
Hell's Angels? Okay.
I'm carrying my grandfather's rockets.
Okay.
I'm locals.
You local?
From the HAs.
You're a problem.
I'm not a problem. I'm the problem solver.
You're the... Oh!
No, I'm deep up in that shit.
You deep up in that shit?
I'm a Hell's Angel.
Hell's Angels? Okay.
I'm carrying my grandfather's rockets.
Okay.
I'm locals.
You local?
From the HAs.
You're a problem.
I'm not a problem. I'm the problem solver.
You're the... Oh!
What do you guys think of that? Do you think it's real? Do you think he's really in the club, or is just he said he carries his grandfather's rockers? I don't think that's a thing. I don't think if your family member was a part of a club, I don't think that makes you a part of a club. It's very weird. Very weird. But anyway, we got a bunch of things to talk about. I got a crazy story to tell you guys. Listen to this crazy shit. So 2 people were unalived in a crash that happened in Florida, right? 2 motorcyclists killed after being thrown over the I-110 overpass in a crash. A man and a woman were killed Thursday night after their motorcycles collided with a concrete barrier on I-110 near Pensacola Bay Center, causing them to fall from the overpass. Troopers reported a motorcycle was traveling northbound just after 8:30 p.m. when it veered off the roadway and into the inside shoulder, striking a concrete barrier. The impact threw both 43-year-old male driver and a 45-year-old passenger from the motorcycle. Both individuals fell over the edge of the overpass and were pronounced dead at the scene. Insane. They confirmed both the driver and the passenger were wearing helmets at the time of their crash. Their identity has not been released. So they were both killed when they were thrown off the side of an overpass. I mean, that's just crazy. They're riding on the road. He's got his girl on the back, and they get thrown over the side of a bridge. I mean, you can't make this shit up. That's just insane. Another one, a person was seriously injured in a motorcycle crash in Groton. This is in Groton, Mass. A person was seriously injured in a motorcycle crash this morning in Groton, according to police. Around 3:34 a.m., authorities were dispatched to the area of Old Ayer Road and Boston Road, and they found a man in his 40s suffering from significant lower body injuries. Police said due to the severity of his injuries, a medical helicopter was requested to the scene, and he was transported to UMass Memorial in Worcester for treatment. The driver of the passenger vehicle, also involved in the crash, had no injuries. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. I'll bring you guys more details as they come out. Let me see here. So this is a crazy situation that we're going to be talking about. Let me see. So the story that we're all here for, right? The main story is this guy right here. He the police unalived him the other day in a domestic call, right? Someone called and said there was a problem. They ended up coming, and the police ended up unaliving him. And man dies in officer involved shooting in Kent County, Delaware. A Delaware man is shot and killed by troopers after attempting to enter a residence of his ex-partner's home while armed, they said. Delaware State Police said troopers responded around 9:15 p.m. to reports of domestic incident at the 100 block of East Cherry Drive, Magnolia, Delaware. Police said the man, identified as 37-year-old Kristopher Glanden of Delaware, had been reported as wanting to harm himself. While responding to the scene, troopers learned that Glanden was armed with a 9mm handgun and attempted to enter the home of his ex-partner, and other family members were sheltered inside. According to investigators, Glanden was standing in the front yard of the home when officers arrived. Police said he refused repeated commands to drop the handgun, and he pointed it at troopers. 2 troopers fired their department-issued weapons, striking Glanden, police said. Troopers performed first aid until emergency medical services arrived. However, Glanden was pronounced dead at the scene. Sending prayers out to his family. It's a terrible situation. But this isn't the first time this has happened. This has happened, I think, about 5, right? 5 different incidents. But the one that's really huge out there is the case of this man. This is a former pagan. He was a pagan at the time of his death. He was a ex-Marine. He was in the Marines. And there was a huge lawsuit, right? It says civil rights lawsuit filed in the death of pagan Derek Hale. The widow and parents of Derek Hale, who was killed by police Now, this article came out in 2007, right? So this has been almost 20 years ago. 19 years ago, matter of fact. So, but it says here that this article came out 4 months ago. This was in 2007. So it was filed a civil rights lawsuit against Wilmington police officers and state troopers, alleging they used excessive force and violated department policy and state law when they shot the 25-year-old Virginia man with 3 blasts from their taser, followed by 3 .40 caliber rounds to the chest. Hale, decorated Marine and member of the Pagans Motorcycle Club, was killed November 6, 2006, while sitting on the steps outside a home on West 6th Street in Wilmington. In the wrongful death lawsuit, Wilmington attorney said Wilmington Police Sergeant William Brown, as the officer who killed Hale. Brown did not respond to emails or phone calls when seeking comment, and an interview request was rejected by the department. Brown is named as the defendant in the suit, along with Wilmington Police Chief, Delaware State Police Superintendent, and other law enforcement officials, including yet to be identified John Doe police officers and Richard Rowe, a state trooper. In November 2006, Delaware State Police concluded an 18-month narcotics investigation, which led to the arrest of 12 people, including some members of the Pagans Delaware chapter. For drugs and weapons offenses, authorities searched the Pagan home and seized personal properties in a series of raids. Hale, a person of interest in the investigation, was tased and shot to death by police, who say they feared for their safety after confronting him at the home of another pagan. because Hale refused to remove his hands from his front pockets of his hooded sweatshirt. Several witnesses said Hale never threatened the officers. They said Hale was physically unable to comply with officers' commands and show his hands because of 3 electric taser strikes made it impossible for him to move. So when they pulled up, he had his hands in his hoodie, right? And they hit him with the taser, and he couldn't take his hands out because he's getting tased. He can't move when you're being tased. It says he got tased 3 times. Several witnesses say Hale never threatened the officers. The lawsuit seeks unspecified compensation. Punitive damages awarded to Eileen Hale, Hale's widow, and Dennis and Connie Hale, his parents, as well as written apologies for killing, and the mandatory injunction forcing Wilmington Police Department and Delaware Police to properly train officers in the use of tasers and deadly force. I mean, I think there's times when they don't need to use deadly force. There's definitely times when people can walk away from situations, right? They don't need to go into every situation with deadly force. I really don't think that should be a thing. It says in the court, we will clear Derek's good name and restore his reputation. We will ask that a civil jury to hold each person involved responsible for their roles in the tragic death and what police are known as a bad shoot. That is an unjustified killing that violated Derek's right to life and liberty under the Constitution, which he fought overseas to defend while serving 2 tours in Iraq during Operation Enduring Freedom. Hale, who has no arrest record in Delaware, was killed. They called it misdirected Delaware State Tactical Operation. The suit charges that no crime was in the progress at the time of the killing, and Hale, who was unarmed and posed no threat to the officers and anyone at the scene. Police have said that Hale was in possession of a switchblade knife and a can of pepper spray, but was not brandishing either. To the contrary, at the time of the shooting, excessive tasering allegedly left Hale virtually paralyzed and unable to comply with officers' demands, in no way capable of harming, at the least, specially trained and heavily armed troopers and officers who had surrounded him. The lawsuit charges the leadership failures at the highest level of the Delaware State Police. It contributed to Hale's death. Hale's killing is still being investigated by the Wilmington Police and Delaware Attorney General's office. Of course, they investigate themselves, so how far do they get with that, right? So apparently they had wiretaps. Hale joined the Marine Corps in 2001 and served 5 years, including 2 tours of duty in Iraq, before being honorably discharged last year with service-related disability. He joined the Virginia branch of the Pagans Motorcycle Club after leaving the military. More than 50% of the club's members are veterans, say club's officials. There he found the sense of brotherhood, camaraderie that the corps had, and he's been missing. He was able to ride his motorcycle in a relaxed atmosphere. The Delaware State Police say the Pagans are an outlaw motorcycle gang. Over the years, Delaware Pagan members have been arrested for crimes of drugs and violence. The club have also sponsored several Toys for Tots runs. On November 3rd, 2006, Hale traveled to Delaware to take part in one of these charity events. So this dude's going to do a charity event, and the police do this to him. Following the toy run, November 6th, Hale was house sitting for a Delaware club member who had been arrested and had his home searched as part of the investigation into the Pagans of the Delaware police. According to the written statement by police, Hale was seen that day. He was killed by moving items from inside the house to a vehicle. An officer had reason to believe he was preparing to flee, they said. A complainant says that was not true. As part of the probe, DSP fully exhaustively investigated the background of each and every person who associated with the Delaware club. The complaint states it was falsely claimed that after the arrest warrant for Derek was issued, that he fled and he was not immediately apprehended. It then was falsely stated that on November 6th, the DSP sought to arrest Hale on drug charges, and he was then killed. In the hours before Hale's death, they alleged that police had the West 6th Street home under surveillance and the phone tapped, so they should have known that Hale was not a threat and he was not preparing to flee. On the afternoon he was killed, Hale joined at the home by Sandra Lopez and her two children, age 11 and 6. Lopez had joint custody of the children after divorcing the homeowner, Ruiz Morales, 34, who was charged with the drugs and the weapons offenses in the Pagans case. When she found out Morales was in custody, she asked Hale to help her move some things belonging to her son into her car. So they mistook that for he was moving stuff to flee, right? While they were doing so, the family dog escaped, and Hale ran up and down the street trying to get control of the pets, the complainant states. After loading the car, Lopez and Hale sat on the steps talking. At the same time, a construction crew, Fred Mixon and his brother Harold, arrived next door, while Delaware State Police surveillance team watched the activities from outside the home. According to the complaint, surveillance team observed Lopez's arrival at the house, presence with their two children who were playing on the front steps, Hale chasing the dog up and down the street, and due to the nature of his clothing, it was unlikely for him to possess a weapon in his sweatshirt pocket. Hale and Lopez talking and playing with the children. Hale did not act threatening or in a suspicious manner. Hale did not display a weapon. The complaint states that the surveillance team radioed their observation to an assault team. The Wilmington cops and state troopers gathered nearby. Mixon told the News Journal that he parked across the street, the narrow street from the home, and was standing by the driver's door of his work van when a black SUV sped up, going the wrong way on a one-way street, and screeched to a halt in the middle of the road. Several police officers jumped out and ran to where Hale was sitting on the steps, approximately 6 feet higher than the sidewalk. Mixon and his crew also said Hale was chatting with Lopez and her children at the top of the 10-step concrete stoop. Hale was seated on the 3rd step from the top. Mixon and another witness was standing across the street while the other construction workers were on the sidewalk in front of the row of houses adjacent from the site of the shooting. Officers ordered Hale to take his hands out of his front pockets of his hooded sweatshirt. About a second later, they tased him, Mixon said. He was just sitting there not doing anything, the witnesses told the News Journal. Hale shook violently from the charges as if sitting on an electric chair. His right hand came out of the front of his sweatshirt and was shaking violently. Seconds later, police repeated their command to Hale to show his hands, and then they tased him a second time, in which he rolled onto his left side and I'm not gonna say that on here, but he rolled on his back and to his right into a sitting position, still shaking, and police tasing him a third time. Both Mixon and Hale never threatened the officers. He didn't deserve to be shot. According to the complainant, none of the officers identified themselves as police or law enforcement officers as required by their policy. Wore badges or wore police uniforms. They had police written on the front of their uniforms. So they didn't have uniforms on. They didn't have badges out, nothing. Or did they tell Hale why they were there and that they wanted to arrest him? Wilmington police policy limits the use of tasers to combatives, physically aggressive, or actively resisting individuals, strictly forbids any use of outside these limited circumstances. So, damn, they're not even supposed to use a taser unless they have those situations, combative, physically aggressive, or actively resisting individuals. And he did none of those. As the electrical current rushed through him, his muscles locked up and began to shake convulsively, uncontrollably, the complainant states. After the first tasering, several of the heavily armed police officers were close enough and they had the ability to tackle and completely incapacitate Hale, but they deliberately chose not to do so. According to the complainant, Hale twice shouted, "I'm trying to put my hands out," Lopez said. She heard Hale shout up, and then she yelled, "He's trying to get his hands out. He cannot get his hands out." That's when William Brown with the WPD then fired 3 shots into Hale's chest, which eventually killed him, complaint states. LT Brown failed to exhaust all reasonable means of apprehension before using deadly force. That's pretty crazy. I mean, this dude was a Marine. He didn't deserve that. And for them to just rush up on a porch where he's sitting there and there's little kids playing there, like, they didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have a weapon on him, nothing. Hey, Jason, what's going on? How are you? Thank you for joining me. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. Al Rose, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. Ken, what's good, Ken? They do this stuff all the time. They put different things in their reports. That's what they do, man. Like, they don't care, right? The police do this type of shit all the time. So this dude was a Marine. It says Hale retired as a Marine sergeant who served 2 tours in Iraq, and he was decorated before his combat-related medical discharge January 2006. He was murdered by heavily armed 8 to 12 members of undercover police team in Wilmington, Delaware on November 6th. He had come to the home from in Manassas, Virginia, to participate in a Toys for Tots event. That's crazy. They did that in front of the kids too. If I can, I'm going to try to show you guys this diagram. I don't think I can. Oh, wait. Yes, I can. All right. I'm going to show you a diagram of what the scene looked like so you can get more of an understanding. All right. So you see the stairs? That's where he was sitting. 3rd stair from the top. And then they just swooped in. And he had his hands in his front pockets of his sweatshirt, but he couldn't. He was hit with a taser blast and knocked him sideways and sent him into convulsions. His right hand involuntarily shot out of his pocket, clenching. Not in front of the kids, Derek gasped, as he tried to force his body to cooperate. Get the kids out of here. Officers continued to order Derek to put up his hands. He was physically unable to comply, so they tased him again, this time driven him to his side. The contractor who had been working nearby that's not necessary, he bellowed. That's overkill. That's overkill. At this point, one of the heroes in blue, or in the case black, staggered over to Mixon and snarled. He said, I'll blank show you overkill, having heroically shut up an unarmed civilian. The officer turned his attention back to Derek, who was being tased yet again. So damn, the cop stopped and turned around and talked to a civilian that was there. I'm trying to get my hands out, Derek explained, desperately trying to make his tortured and traumatized body obey his will. Horrified, his friend Sandra screamed at the officers. He's trying to get his hands out. He cannot get his hands out. Having established that Derek, an innocent man who had survived 2 tours of duty, was defenseless, one of Wilmington's finest, closed in for the kill. That's pretty crazy. And I guess a couple years later, they had a big event where they bride in memory of him. It's a terrible situation that they do this type of stuff to people. Sending prayers out to their families, both of them, both of these guys. They're having a bike night for this man that passed away. July 6th. That's tomorrow. In Milford, Delaware. So if you're around, all proceeds support his family. And if there's a GoFundMe or anything, I'll get it and I'll share it with you guys if you want to help out. It's just terrible that the police do this type of shit and they get away with it. They can get away with it, right? Hey, Beats, what's going on? Thank you for joining me. Joe, how are you? Doug, what's good? 2 tour stacks. This shit really makes me mad. Dirty cops. 2 tours. Like, this dude isn't that's what the police do. They label these guys bad people, right? And then they do shit like that. And they think just because they labeled them bad people that it's gonna go in their favor, right? This happens all the time. I mean, this isn't the first time it happened, and unfortunately, it probably won't be the last. Let me see. I'm trying to find something real quick. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the Charlottesville massacre. If you guys don't know what that is, this was a situation that happened in 1979. I got a video to show you guys. Let me see if I can find it.
Free consultation today.
My name's Ron Jarrett. I was a police officer back in the days when the outlaw motorcycle gangs had a killing at the clubhouse on Allen Street. I was called by my supervisor, sergeant, who advised me 5 people had died, had been killed. I thought he was kidding me. So
it was in Charlotte. So apparently what happened was, so it went unsolved for a long time, right? But they finally found out who did it. And the crazy thing, it was someone who they least expected. It was 2 guys, right? It was this was one of the guys, and they were both passed away by the time they found out who did it. But these are the 2 men, apparently, that were responsible. Police said Wednesday they identified the suspects responsible for the 1979 murders of 5 people in the outlaw gang clubhouse in Allen Road, northeast of Mecklenburg County. On July 4th, 1979, massacre, the worst mass killing in Charlotte history. The killing prompted police to beef up investigations of bikers, and agencies across the state began sharing information. I think it's the birth of Charlotte waking up and saying, hey, we can have major problems here. The first lead investigator on the case told the Observer in 1999 interview, outlaw leader William Chains Flamont found gruesome clubhouse scene. Found shot to death were William Allen, 22, William Mouse Dronberg, 31, Bridget Midget, they called her Midget, I guess, Benfield, 17, Leonard Terrible Terry Henderson, 30, and Randall Friesel, 28 years old. Police said they identified the 2 suspects in the killing as Gregory Scott Lindeman and Randy Allen Pig. Why do they always got 3 names? So these are the 2 individuals that they identified. And police said Wednesday the killing stemmed from a dispute between one of the shooters and one of the victims. At the time of the killing, police identified Pig and Linderman as persons of interest, but police said the lack of evidence, they had a lack of evidence to arrest them, and they were never charged. So that's why they never ended up getting arrested for this situation. So, on July 13, 1979, Linderman, who had fled to San Bernardino, California, was arrested on unrelated murder warrant issued by what then was the Mecklenburg County Police Department, was returned to Charlotte and interviewed by police about the killing. Police found Pig in Charlotte and interviewed him too at the time. Over the years, the CMPD detectives continue to work leads they'd received from the public. On October 15th, 1990, Lindeman was killed in a car wreck in Houston, Texas, police said. Pig suffered several medical ailments and died of liver failure on October 5th, 2007. Wednesday, police announced that they were by the offender. So they announced that they would have been arrested if they were still alive. And this is crazy because, I mean, they killed 5 people. This was a big deal back then in 1979. Here's one of the articles. If you guys want to read that, pause it to read it. So rest in peace to all them people, man. Sending prayers out to them. Miklo's in the building. What's going on? Mile High Magic, how you doing? Good morning. I appreciate all you guys. I remember this, Stags. I grew up on the East Coast, with Canada's southwestern Ontario, on Lake Ontario, 20 miles from Niagara Falls, New York, 2 hours from Blue Water Bridge in Michigan, about 2.5 to Toronto. Chains 1%er was my mentor. So if you guys aren't aware, let me see here. The anniversary for let's see here. Hollister. This 79 years ago, this weekend, 79 years ago, outside a little town called Hollister, California, the AMA hosted the Gypsy Tour races, and clubs were operating in defiance to the AMA descended on the nearby town of Hollister. Some of the clubs present included the Galloping Goose, Marcus Street Commandos, Pissed Off Bastards of Bloomington, and of course, the Booze Fighters. The event would transpire, would become an inspiration for the Marlon Brando's Wild One, a weekend filled with drinking, fun, and brotherhood, be overshadowed by lies, public panic. Articles in magazines would bring the weekend into the stuff of legend. Through the smoke, though, the entire club culture would be born. July 4th weekend, 1947, would go down in history as a weekend the American biker was born. So if you guys don't know, that was 79 years ago. That's pretty crazy. I got some other cool videos to show you guys. Let me show you guys some more pictures from the Hollister shit. I got some other breaking news to tell you guys about. A plane crashed in New York into the river, carrying a bunch of people. Check this out. A seaplane carrying 8 passengers crashes into New York City's East River. At least it's warm out. They could swim, right? So here's some pictures from Hollister. That's the Booze Fighters van, I think, or maybe it's an RV or something. But these are all pictures from that weekend. Sturgis is coming up. I'm going to be live streaming, doing some live streams from some of the cameras in Sturgis this year. So maybe next year I'll be able to go there. I was supposed to go there 3 years ago. I got booked to do a DJ spot in Sturgis, and I ended up leaving Minnesota before Sturgis even happened. I was tired of the bullshit in Minnesota. Fuck that. Minnesota is a shithole. But shout out to all the people in Minnesota. I met a lot of good people there, but the people I dealt with were not so great. 7 people were shot. 1 stab was in Rochester over the weekend. The youngest victim was just 12 years old, if you guys haven't heard about that. There was a crazy hailstorm here over the weekend. And there's another big story in New Zealand. I think I told you guys about this one, though. Hold on. Hell's Angel Link meth lab was shut down in a major New Zealand police operation. A suspect clandestine methamphetamine laboratory allegedly linked to associates of the Hell's Angels Motorcycle Club has been dismantled following a coordinated early morning raid in northwest Auckland, marking another significant strike against organized crime of illicit drug manufacturing in New Zealand. The operation, dubbed Operation Tugboat, unfolded shortly after 5:30 a.m. when police executed search warrants at a residence on Ridge Road in a rural community in Riverhead. The investigation had focused on organized groups believed to be involved in manufacturing methamphetamine and alleged links to the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. According to detectives, investigators quickly determined the property contained all the hallmarks of manufacturing methamphetamine laboratory. During the search, officers recovered laboratory equipment, hazardous chemicals commonly associated with methamphetamine production, including hydrochloric acid, laboratory flasks, condensers, quantities of chemicals, and waste believed to be left behind from previous cook. The discovery prompted specialist officers to safety secure the scene due to the significant dangers that it posed by clandestine drug laboratories, which are often contain volatile chemicals capable of causing fires, explosion, and toxic contamination. Police arrested a 55-year-old man and a 30-year-old woman who were residing at the property. Authorities say both suspects were taken into custody without incident. The pair have each been charged with manufacturing methamphetamine and are scheduled to appear in court. The allegations have not been proven in court yet. Investigators say the raid was a culmination of targeted operations designed to disrupt organized criminal groups allegedly involved in producing and manufacturing methamphetamine throughout the region. And I'll bring you guys more information as it becomes available. We got a lot of things to talk about this week. I got really dope interviews dropping. You ever been to Sturgis Stacks? No. Thank you, man. I appreciate the donation. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. 79 years. That's a long time. Hell yeah, it is. No, I never been there. I was supposed to go about 3 years ago, but I was supposed to DJ for some stripper thing they had going. I worked at a strip club. I was a DJ at a strip club in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. And I got hired to do some stripper shit at in Sturgis. But I left right before it happened. Matter of fact, I left on the 4th of July. Matter of fact, 4th of July weekend is when I came back. So I just missed it, right? By a couple weeks. But I guess it was an all right experience, you know? Damn, there's a video of a whole crowd jumping police officers. I don't know where the hell this happened. It says, absolutely horrifying footage emerges of teen takeover in North Charleston, South Carolina. What appears to be a white female officer is severely beaten by a mob of black teens, including what appears to be Roman candles. Damn. They're all shooting them at the cars and stuff. I seen one thing where a dude strapped Roman candles to the front of his street bike and he was popping wheelies and they were shooting. It was pretty cool. But anyway, I got a video to show you guys. So this is a video of this dude was driving down. This must be in California or something. But he sees this homeless dude riding with soft colors of the chosen few on. Check this shit out. And he takes it. He's like, hell no. And he made him give him the soft colors. This dude just casually riding on the street. Some people have no idea, right? And I've seen another video where this guy's sitting in a car and he has the Hells Angels logo. You can't wear these clubs' logos. Don't do it. Like, just don't do it. If you're not in that club, don't wear their logos. You can't do that. All right, so we got a group of Mongols, right? That get pretty pissed when this biker flies by them. Let's check it out.
Hey, they'll never fucking pass us, right? Huh? They'll never fucking pass us. Huh? They'll never fucking pass us. They'll never fucking pass you? Is that what you said? Go inside. Fucking past us. Don't ever fucking pass you? Is that what you said? Go inside. For what? Go inside. What do you want to do? I can't hear you. What do you want to do? I have earplugs. They'll never fucking pass us when we go fucking like that, right? What's going on, man? It's just the streets, come on. No. Don't fucking never pass it like that. Why? Because I said so. Because you said so? Well, man, come on, it's just a road. You don't gotta be, we're all just riding, we're all both on two wheels. If you want to do that, just fucking let us know that you're there and then you can pass. I gotta ask you. You can't just pass us like that. Don't pass you? Is that a rule? Yeah, do respect, bro. Right? Oh, it's out of respect. Oh, come on, man. We're all bikers. Let's all be friends.
Think of that situation. I didn't even see him when he passed. I didn't even see him on the side. Did you guys see them? Because I didn't see him. What do you do in that situation? I didn't even see him pass him. Did you guys see him? It's pretty crazy. But a shout out to all you guys. I really appreciate you watching the show. We got a lot of content on the way. If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's brother, sister's friend about Chatting with Stacks. The dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. If you want to donate to the show, hit up the Cash App at Chatting with Stacks. Or you can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Sticker, Super Chats, Zelle, all that good stuff. Every dollar helps. I put it right back into the show so I can bring you the dope content. If you want to tell your story, just email me at billstacks2021@gmail.com. Tomorrow morning, 12 o'clock, don't miss it. I will have Tony Slippers live. And we're going to talk about him getting booked at the Gathering of the Juggalos. And I interviewed an ex-Hells Angel and an ex-Pagan. Exclusive content coming only on Chatting with Stacks. I appreciate all you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. I support every club out there. Hopefully they can all get together and stop the madness. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. And remember, don't be a bitch.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged, and investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.